Josh and I were talking during the break, where might we find live spring training baseball today? Would it be on our local Bally Sports, Kansas City? Maybe the Royals, playing the Rangers will be on there. Doesn't look like it. Might MLB Network, a channel dedicated to MLB, have some live spring training games on? No,
not
They'll
live.
replay some games tonight, but after everybody goes to bed.
Right.
So the answer to that question is no. And maybe it's for good reason, Josh.
Oh?
Maybe it's because Major League Baseball games now belong on X-rated channels because the players' balls are showing.
Now,
maybe
Connor,
this is the reason why. Put them on Skinamax.
You can't possibly be serious. You must be doing one of those jokes that you do.
No, Josh. Thank you for asking, and thank you for the clarification opportunity. I saw at no less than 4 sets of Major League player balls yesterday. And it's all because the uniforms were done by a great company, a reputable company called Fanatics, and they've decided they were going to Costanza it and make the jerseys very, very light. The first problem was that they were, obviously the print on the uniforms look childlike and thrown together. We've seen plenty of examples of this, but now come to realize that the pants are also of the same material. They are of paper. And the first problem was that you could see the uniforms being tucked into the pants through the pants.
Yeah, that's bad. You don't want that.
And so it was only a matter of time before this happened, and it took 0 days before we started playing baseball games to where we got some really tough pictures from around the league. One guy bent over.
That's the one I'm looking at. He's a Padre, it appears, based on the color scheme.
Yeah.
I can't see his face or his back because he's bending over, but I do know what religion he is.
Nice, Josh. That was good. The guy for the Giants taking the taking the glamour shot.
Was that Casey Schmidt?
His balls are just hanging out, man. What are we doing? What's going on? We got to do something about this.
I can read the jersey tag through this guy's pants.
Yeah.
I can see his undershorts.
Somebody brought this up to me.
They're Nike brand.
Yesterday. What happens when it rains?
Oh, that's a great question. I had not thought of this clearly based on my reaction.
They're going to disintegrate into thin air.
Yeah. Now I want a rain delay.
You're not going to get. Well, might get some in Florida, but probably not in Arizona. There was this story yesterday from The Athletic from a trio of writers, Stephen Nesbitt, Patrick Mooney, and C. Trent Rosecrans. When players walked into the Cincinnati clubhouse on Thursday morning, they found white and gray baseball pants on the chairs at their lockers. More pants were piled on a table in the middle of the room, and a message on a monitor above the players asked to try them on. Doing so brought the familiar feeling of pulling an old pair of pants. Because that's exactly what they are. Among the numerous issues surrounding the rollout of Nike's new MLB uniform this spring is a pants shortage. Some teams are reusing pants from the previous seasons made by Nike or Major League Baseball's previous uniform supplier, Majestic, because they don't have enough new Nike pants for everyone. The Reds have told players to plan to wear their old pants for the rest of spring training. Tony Clark, the Major League Baseball Players Association executive director, says, quote, "The universal concern is the pant."
Oh, yeah. Now the jersey's being printed very awkwardly on the back. Doesn't bother you so much now, does it?
Oh, it just keeps getting worse. What's the next thing next week?
Maybe Fanatics is actually galaxy braining this.
What's the thing going to be next week with this? When we come back on Monday and there's another story about MLB uniforms.
And they've played like 30.
Oh, I know what it is.
Spring training games over the weekend.
I know what's going to happen. somebody's going to slide and their pants are going to rip in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be, yeah, for sure.
There's no way those thin pants can hold up.
No. Nike did not respond directly to questions, but did provide a statement to The Athletic. Quote, "We always put the athlete at the center of everything we do. We work closely with MLB players, teams, and the league to create the most advanced uniforms in the history of Major League Baseball, which are lighter and more flexible. The quality and performance of our product is the utmost importance to us. We will continue to work with MLB, players, and our manufacturing partners to address player uniforms."
So,
Have fun.
Hurtin Husker fan on YouTube.
Hi, Hurtin.
I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not, but he does actually raise a good point with Fanatics increasingly taking over more of the jersey production in professional sports. He says, "I point out this jersey issue isn't getting enough serious attention. Imagine if you dressed a women's team in such sheer clothing. Honestly, this feels scummy and very inappropriate that they do not fix it."
Yeah, I mean, like it's funny to us. It's funny because I can
it's baseball, right? Like,
it's baseball, and they, they do the word that we say in the afternoon crossover all the time. They're full of those, right? Plenty of snafus in the baseball world lately, especially under this commissioner, and they can't get anything right. And the one thing that I think they, I shouldn't say the one thing, but like one of the things they had right was the uniform,
right?
Even with the Nike insignia on there over the last couple of years, I think they look really sharp, and players have sort of come to expect that. And so maybe you're right; it's not getting enough serious attention. But I'm just glad I'm glad that each day that passes, we seem to talk about this more, because eventually MLB is going to have to be like, okay, this has gone so horribly, more horribly than we ever could have imagined.
A lot of times our complaints in sports, they'll live for like 18 hours on Twitter and then they'll just go away. This does not appear to be going away, which is good.
It's good
for
because
fixing
then they
problem.
might change it. Yeah. By the way, a couple of tweets here from Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Tweets at Happer Show. Poll question: did you see a lot of balls yesterday?
I'll do it.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Mustache Adam.
Hi, Mustache.
Much like the NFL did with T Swift, this is Major League Baseball's way to draw more female viewers. See, I've seen that joke going around, and with that comes the assumption that women want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's the case as much as you want to believe. I don't think women want to see that.
History says no, they don't. But also, I told my wife this morning, she sent me a picture. We had not talked about the pants issue, and she sent me a picture of the players yesterday who had their balls not out, but also out against their will. She said, "Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? This is incredible stuff. This is amazing." And I said, "Yeah, I bet you're going to watch more baseball with me this year, aren't you?" And she goes,
"It's the joke that everybody's making."
Yeah. She says, "Actually, no." And I said, "Really? If Dansby Swanson was out there with his junk present for you to see, you wouldn't be like, 'Hey, let's watch a Cubs game, Josh.'" And she said, "No, I wouldn't. I do not like this.
Nobody wants to see that. Like, nobody wants to see that. We're projecting our thoughts about women for their thoughts about us. They don't want to. They don't want to see.
Absolutely,
they don't want to see that.
This is bad. This is troublesome.
Yeah, and on top of them being bad quality uniforms, they don't have enough of them. So maybe we just pull this plug. I did see the one with Scott Barlow yesterday, former Royal Scott Barlow, current member of the Cleveland Guardians. So the piping on the sleeve of the uniform, the sleeve of the jersey, one of the sleeves had very thick piping, and one of the other sleeve had very thin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they just look horrible. It looks really bad. It's a horrible look for Major League Baseball. And if I was the players union, like if I'm Tony Clark and if I'm running the players union, I'm seriously raising a stink about this. This is a serious problem.
There has to be language in the contract that if you can't handle the job, we're allowed to pull the ripcord and get out of this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of contracts.
Now
do.
everybody gets you get some lead in, and all right, we'll be flexible with you at first. But what they have decided to roll out is straight up not a good product. So I hope that we can figure out a solution to this in the next couple weeks before we start the season.